When We Were Magic by Sarah Gailey is a 2020 release. It came out on March 3rd. It follows Alexis, our main character, after she accidentally murdered a boy with her magic on the night of her prom. She contacts her friends, asks them to help her handle the situation, and the book follows them as they deal with the repercussions of this, how it shifts their friend group, and also as they try not to get caught by the cops. Every girl has a different specialty of magic. Our main character, Alexis, can talk to animals. Her one friend, Roya, has the ability to clean stuff. One of the characters, Miriam, has the ability to work with pigment. She can do color magic. When We Were Magic is one of my favorite reads so far this year. It's probably gonna make it into my top books of 2020, and it is certainly making it into my top books of this quarter. So one of the main reasons I think you should read this book is because of how strong the friendships between these girls are. The author, Sarah Gailey, they take time to flesh out not only the group dynamic, but the dynamic between each of the girls individually. They establish who is the leader very quickly. They establish the individual and unique personalities of all the girls, and they also establish the ways the personalities overlap. So we just have a group of young women who are best friends, and we get to see how much they care about each other. We get to see how they love each other, and we get to see the many, many ways that they differ and they disagree. The friendships are very realistic. They ring true to the teenage experience, at least the teenage experience I had. And it's really just really refreshing to see a book that is, instead of being centered around romantic relationships, it is centered around the bonds between teen girls. Next is the diverse characters. Now, I touched on the diversity of personalities. There is the leader, the goth, the timid, meek one, the outgoing, bold, angry one, the reckless one, and then the makeup artist. And so there's that diversity of personalities, but there's also diversity in terms of race. There are a number of black and brown characters, including a Filipina character, a Muslim character, and a character that I believe is black, but don't quote me on that one. Now, all three of these are side characters. They are in the friend group, and they are given equal amounts of time as the other girls in the friend group, but the most well-developed character is our main character, Alexis, who is white. However, time is taken to explore them and the way their race or religion affects how they view the world and how the world views them. Next, there is a non-binary character. Now, this isn't stated explicitly, but one of the characters talks about how she might start going by they, them in college, and how her gender is pretty fluid. I don't quite agree with the words the author uses. They tend to use that words like femme that are separated from the lesbian context that they kind of rely on. So don't like that, but it does show the ways the character can be more feminine, the ways the character can be more masculine, and the ways in between that, the ways they can present gender in between either of those extremes. One of the characters, Barcelona, is plus size, and you can see that on the cover. It is not something that is hidden. It is something that is mentioned from the beginning of the book. It's certainly not a defining factor of the book, but the casualness with which it was handled was quite refreshing in my opinion. And we're gonna get to what you all have been assuming. Yes, there are sapphic characters. At least 3 of the girls in the friend group are confirmed to be sapphic. There's Polly, who is the character hinted to be non-binary. There's Roya, and then there's our main character, Alexis. I will get more into the sapphic rep in a later point, but I think it was all done pretty well. Roya is bi. Alexis is probably also bi. It is stated that they use the word bi specifically when discussing Alexis, but she says she doesn't exactly relate to any label, really. And then Polly is just ambiguously sapphic. I'm going with the idea that they are a non-binary lesbian, but that is not confirmed. Next, we have the existential teen dread that is heavy throughout the novel. All 6 of the girls are getting ready to go off to college. They're in their senior year of high school, and they are inevitably going to, their paths are going to diverge. But they've been such a huge part of each other's lives since, I believe, the last person was added into the group in their freshman year. So they've been a big part of each other's lives for a long time, and it deals with the dread that comes with knowing you're going to have to not leave your friends behind, but you're going to inevitably grow apart from them, even if you remain as close as can be. Maybe not that that's necessarily going to happen, but the fear that it is going to, and the fact that you guys are going to inevitably be separated at some point in your lives. It also makes careful commentary on the way teens can feel distant from their parents, even if their parents are amazing. So a big thing is that the main character, Alexis, is quite obviously dealing with trauma over what happened, but she doesn't feel like she can tell her dads about it, even though her dads are very supportive people and they don't even really yell at her and her brother at all. And it also deals with, even though the fact that her dads are gay, yes, she doesn't necessarily come out to them right away. She just doesn't come out to them right away. It's not something that is focused on in the book per se. There is a coming out scene in regards to Alexis, but it's not by any means, this is not a coming out story. Focuses on that disconnect between adults and teenagers that is inevitable, but is also a very real thing that a lot of teenagers struggle with. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the relationships for a minute. I'm going to be touching more on the friendships, not so much the friend group, but the friendships between each of the girls, and also the romantic relationships. So from the beginning, we establish who is more likely to be seen with each other than they are to be seen with the others. There's Polly and Marcelina are almost always together. They are shown to be thick as thieves. Like I said, Iris she's established as the leader of the group from very early on, first 3 pages, and it shows while they're all close, there is a distance between her and the other girls. It shows how close Roya and Alexis are, and how they are also very, very close with Miriam, who they grew up with. There is kind of a love triangle. From the beginning, we know that Alexis has feelings for Roya, and that Roya has feelings for Alexis. However, Polly and Alexis also flirt a lot, and they do make out later in the book. It is not a heavy focus of the book, but I do think it is a more realistic part of the book, especially if we're talking about teenagers. And so we see the casual flirting between Alexis and Polly. We see that that Polly is looking for something more casual, and how she tries to attain that, and the ways that she's not about to end her friendship because her one friend doesn't want to have casual sex with her. And we specifically see the yearning between Alexis and Roya, we see the ways Alexis is always thinking about her, the ways every little thing reminds her of her. And all in all, I think the relationships, platonic and romantic, are really well done here, and you should give it a go. Please just give it a go. My final point is that Sarah Gailey is non-binary. I don't quite know what they identify as, but I know they use they, them pronouns, and I think it is very important to support non-binary authors. So if you are on the fence about this, please let this be the defining factor if you're going to read this book or not, because like I said, I think it's very important to support and elevate the voices of non-binary people. All I have for now. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.